Hello everybody, I'm Zenith Variant GAY25, the cutest of ghost buns, and welcome to First Impressions, where I give my initial thoughts on a game after completing it over on my gaming channel. For those not aware, I have a separate channel called Bun Squad Gaming, where I host Bun Plays, my ongoing Let's Play series, and live streams archived from my Twitch channel. If you're interested in checking out the channel, there will be a link in the description of this video and every First Impressions video I do from here on in, as well as a link to the playlist of the game that I'm covering in each video. Speaking of which, let's take a brief look at the first game that I've completed for Bun Plays, Sonic the Hedgehog 1991. Now, as I've stated in the past, I am not that familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog. Growing up with Nintendo and PlayStation systems instead, franchises such as Mario, Zelda, Crash Bandicoot, and Kingdom Hearts were the ones that I predominantly followed. However, what I wanted to do with Bun Plays was experience some franchises that I had little to no knowledge about, take a look at their history from what I can gather, play through the game, and see what I could learn from the experience. I gotta say, playing through Sonic 1 for all of you was certainly an eye-opening experience in just how much I've missed out on, and the skills I still have yet to learn. As some of you may know, I am not a retro gamer. So going back to games of this style challenged me to do things differently and actively learn more about the physics of the game, and I think that was quite a rewarding experience. The first thing I learned, especially from my friend Kat and my partner Philip, is that Sonic has such a long-standing and exotic history. I discussed a ton of it in my primer video, which I researched for as much as I could find before the game was made, but Sonic was far bigger than I realized at the time. Obviously, he is a household name now, but I've never seen any of the TV shows or the commercials that were airing around this time. We'll discuss more about this when we get to the impact that Sonic 2 had on Sega, but it certainly took a while, and I'm approaching each game as it was released in the environment that it was released in. It took a while, but yes, Sonic became big. Growing up with Mario, I didn't hear much about him at the time, and as such, there are a few things that I didn't know when starting up Bun Plays. For example, nobody was around to teach me how to roll before it was too late.
So you ready to roll?
Roll, I'm ready.
Obviously, I'm aware of the legacy of Sonic and several of his iconic songs, but having never owned a Genesis or one of the many Sonic ports, I was under the impression that it was mainly a one-button game, because when I played it in Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, it only lists the jump button in the controls. That's the only button aside from pause and the menu button that they give, so I just assumed jump was the only ability that Sonic had in the game. What I wasn't aware of was that pressing down while moving allows you to roll into a ball to gain momentum and utilize your surroundings to your advantage. Now, yes, that's on me for not pressing every button available, since Mario could run with the B button in his games, but they never mentioned the spin dash or the roll in the controls menu, so how was I supposed to know that? I didn't think that using directions would affect the game. The same applies for those cylinders in Scrap Brain that make you go fast by rolling on top of them. I just had no idea, because who rolls on a cylinder? But that really goes into what that blast processing was all about, and how I was partially wrong about what it could do. Blast processing is still a buzzword, but it allows for you to take advantage of momentum and go to ludicrous speeds by rolling. Since I didn't have a manual, this isn't explained at the start of the game, and it is one of the core components of Sonic. Sonic can jump on his enemies, yes, but the roll is utilized to take out some of the more infamous enemies like caterpillars, spikes, and other hard-to-reach enemies that come out of nowhere. I am aware of the spin dash, and did use it at times since I was playing the Sonic Origins version of the game, but I was trying to get the authentic experience of the first game, and there you only had the roll. Rolling is an essential part of what makes Sonic so damn fun, and I really missed out the first 2 times I played this game without realizing just what Sonic is capable of. So, now that I have first-hand knowledge of how this game is actually supposed to be played, what did I think of the blue blur? Well, I gotta be honest, while I love this game, it has a few issues that even rolling can't fix. Let's start with the core points that Sonic 1 gets right. This is a game that is extremely easy to pick up, play, and understand. If you're not going for any of the Chaos Emeralds, you can easily beat this in about an hour or less. It's not a long game, and it's fun to experiment with different pathways, hidden goodies like extra rings and lives, or the monitor power-ups that grant shields or invincibility. The ring system gives the game an arcade feel, where Sonic dies in one hit without rings, but with rings, you can sustain one hit and have the chance to get your rings back. The ring system gives the game an arcade feel, where Sonic dies in one hit without rings, but with rings, you can sustain one hit and have the chance to get your rings back. Rings are like a lifeline here, and 100 rings gives you an extra life. If you're just blasting through a stage, obviously you'll be hit by hazards, but rings ensure that you won't need to worry too much, and you can always get them back. I think this system is very rewarding, allowing you to explore and make mistakes without too much hassle. It makes lives worth it because you still have something to fall back on if need be, and there's multiple checkpoints in each level, but the rings become scarce by the time you reach the bosses. I think it's balanced well, and I enjoyed it a lot. At the same time, I still feel like lives are very archaic, and I'm glad that Origins took them away in the anniversary mode of the game. You can still play the game in classic mode if you so choose, but I've done that several times before with save states, and I wanted to just enjoy the game as is without having to constantly save scum because of beginner traps such as bottomless pits, the lava in Marble Zone, and everything in Scrap Brain. There's just so much that's thrown at you with no warning that, unless you're a seasoned player, you won't know how to deal with. Now, I'm happy to say that after this run on Bun Plays, I was able to go back and play the game a second time with far less trouble, especially with the roll, but for first-time players, the live system is just a hindrance. Yeah, I know we have to get good, quote-unquote, but I feel like removing lives and focusing on rings in Origins helped me out a lot and allowed me to experiment more. it is just far more accessible. I also feel the pacing of Sonic 1 is all over the place. You start off with Green Hill Zone, which is one of the best stages in this series, with its multiple pathways, loops, and other features to take advantage of with your speed and skill. It is fun no matter what path you choose, and has goodies everywhere. But then there's Marble Zone, which slows everything down immensely. You can't afford to be fast here, because if you are a new player, you'll hit a lava trap, and then you get to the portions where you just have to wait around on a block. Just waiting there. It becomes annoying real fast. Then there's Spring Yard Zone, which is back to speed and momentum, with some beginner's traps, but overall much more fun than the next zone in the game, Labyrinth Zone. Yes, I enjoy the maze-like design and how it utilizes more puzzle-like elements, but it's super slow due to the underwater physics, and I can see why most people detest it when looking back on the game. Starlight Zone is my second favorite level in the game because it's a lot like Green Hill with its branching looping design, and it has a fantastic boss, but it does have random bottomless pits that tend to suck while you're blazing through the stage. Finally, there's Scrap Brain Zone, which was devised by Satan himself.
Precisely.
And is a place where everything wants you dead. I eventually figured it out through trial and error, and have a planned route now with shortcuts in Acts 2 and 3, but my first time going through this level almost broke me. It is that much bullshit. It's this constant back and forth roller coaster, where you have some zones that reward speed, but others that feel designed based on some of Mario's elements. The game is very experimental with its level design, and while it manages to forge its own path, some ideas just weren't fully implemented as well as they could have been. Marble Zone is just the worst for me in how it slows things down to a complete crawl, and only gets improved when you're either playing as Tails, who can fly over the lava, or with the elemental shield from Sonic 3. Scrap Brain is just a lot of trial and error, and with the live system, it just feels dickish. That's part of why it took me so long to beat the classic game with save states. Having all of this thrown at me while trying to hold on to 50 rings when going after the emeralds was complete hell. It's honestly not even really worth it in Sonic 1 because the 6 Chaos Emeralds don't even give you Super Sonic at the end of the game. Just an alternate ending where Robotnik is mad at you and stomps on the end credits. You can activate the 7th Emerald from the iOS version of the game, which does give you Super Sonic, but I haven't done so yet, and I hear it's designed for people who are experienced with Sonic 1's special stages, and given that I don't like these stages to begin with, I'm going to have to pass for now. Honestly, the fun of Sonic is blazing fast through the terrain and having to be pixel perfect for these levels to get to vomit-inducing special stages, which you can't retry in the original, is just far too anger-inducing. Origins streamlined this by taking away lives and replacing them with coins that can be used in the museum or to retry special stages, which helped in improving the overall experience. However, I still believe that the level design hampers the game a bit. I had no issue replaying this game in Origins for a second time because these stages are still really fun, but only once those hurdles were removed. The only issue I do have with Sonic 1 in the Origins version is how they handle the boss encounters. The bosses are piss easy in Sonic 1, and I had no trouble with them at all in the classic game. But here, the Egg Wrecker and the Egg Stinger bosses are changed to adapt to widescreen, and it makes dodging the attacks so much more awkward. I feel like that's a step back, and I do prefer the boss fights in the classic version because of it, which makes the decision to have the boss rush mode use the anniversary mode bosses with no rings a bit suspect. It's not a game breaker, but I died to the Egg Stinger far too many times for it to be rewarding. But I may just be a noob, who knows. Aside from that though, the anniversary mode has much cleaner graphics, which overall look a bunch nicer on my TV. The music is honestly hit or miss for me. This may be my most controversial take, since a lot of people love Sonic 1's soundtrack, but I have some issues. Green Hill Zone, Starlight, and the boss themes are fantastic and entertaining, but I just don't care much for Marble Zone's theme or even Spring Yard. And I know that in and of itself is blasphemous given how much love Spring Yard's theme gets, but I was never into it, as others were for whatever reason. Labyrinth is a bit better for me, but it's still too twangy for my liking. And while these themes fit with their respective zones, they aren't catchy enough to stand out in my opinion. Obviously, people love them for a reason, but I'm just not feeling it personally. Especially Scrap Brain Zone, which is far too chaotic for me to enjoy. It's supposed to be chaotic, to be fair, but every time I hear the drums, they just take me out of the theme and remind me that everything wants to kill me in the zone, and I end up getting hit by something. Despite all of my issues though, I'd still consider Sonic 1 to be a good game. It has a lot of grand ideas, and when it's working well with good level design and music, I think it's one hell of a good time.
I'm having such a good time, I'm having a ball.
It just has a lot of hurdles that hold it back from true greatness. I still love coming back to it, and I am glad I played it for the third time now, but it has started to show its age after all these years. Lives are simply archaic and not fun for me, so Origins really helps with its setup. This version of Sonic 1 is pretty much the definitive way to play the game on consoles. Though I hear that for PC players, the fan-made mod Sonic 1 Forever makes the experience just that tad bit better. In any case, I will most likely do a full review of Sonic 1 in the future, but for now, I am Zenith Warrior Princess, the cutest of buns, and I will see you all next time when I discuss Sonic 2 and see if there's anything else that I still have to learn. If you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you too can join the Bun Squad, my legion of cute, fluffy bunnies who watch my videos. You can also check out my gaming channel in the description below, on the banner of my channel, or in the info card up top. And as always, don't forget to hit that bell to get notified of every new video. Have a good one, everybody!